The show will start shortly, so while you wait, let's get to know your hosts. Kim and Carlos are a married couple, grew up in the same small town, and met because of sports. Here's a blast from the past of what we were like back then. Fun facts about Carlos: he was our high school basketball star, and he ran a leg of the Olympic torch run for the 1984 Olympics. I was a freshman when Carlos was a senior. He wrote these messages to me in our yearbook back in 1985. We decided to start our podcast in 2023. Our first season used this cover art. The first season was our memoir about getting your child through cancer. The name of our show has deep meaning for us because doctors would always blow us off with these two words, typical and unique. We made this montage part of our intro for a while.
Hit with so many typicallys and uniques.
Oh, yes, that is very typical. We see it all the time.
Don't worry about it. That's typical, you know.
Oh, every child is unique, so we can't say what is typical.
That's typical. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, that's unique. We don't really see that very much.
Yeah, typical or unique.
Since then, we took a break from podcasting and came back with season 2 as a discussion podcast, mostly discussing true crime. We can talk about almost anything on here, though. And we thank you for joining us. Now, if you're ready, let's get into it. Welcome to Typically Unique. I'm Kim Aponte, and I'm here with my husband, Carlos.
Hello.
We are wearing our new matching shirts because we just got back from a trip. Took a quick little few days trip to Chicago and had a good time with our daughter. So we are getting caught up on Big Brother. We got caught up when we got home, and we're going to talk about the last couple, last Thursday night and the Sunday night episodes.
Yeah. So we had a great time in Chicago. You and our daughter walked, 20 miles a day. We're doing stuff. I tried to stay out of that because it was too hot, but Lollapalooza was going on at the time.
Oh, so my God, it was great.
The city was hopping and, so it was really good time. But by the time we got back, we were all exhausted. We needed a vacation from the vacation. And so we did try to watch some Big Brother to get caught up, but we're a little fuzzy on some facts. So we'll do our best to kind of wrap up a couple episodes that happen and get ready for tonight. Word on the street is there's a lot of fireworks going on in the house, so I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, I heard there's lots of fighting going on.
Yeah, so hopefully we can kind of get ourselves and, the few of you that are listening to us here, maybe a little up to speed on what's going on in preparation for tonight's episode. So
we had a lot of opinions about the production of the show when we watched these last couple episodes too. So
for sure.
So last Thursday, before we left, they were doing the arena and the eviction, right? So we're like trying to remember, okay, who was on the block? Because I know it was Angela and Tucker for sure. And then I'm trying to remember the competition because that was the puzzle.
It was Lisa.
And Lisa, Angela, and Tucker. Yeah. And Tucker just blew them out of the water. He did that super, super fast. And it took me a while. I think our daughter had to point out to me that Tucker was dressed up like Lisa. And I was laughing for the whole rest of the show because he braided his hair and he had the glasses on. And then at the end, he was going, I love puzzles, and like acting like her. Yeah. That was really funny, but it took me a minute to get the joke.
Yeah. And he's actually, I guess in hindsight, looking back a couple episodes and knowing what's kind of going on now, he actually has morphed a little bit to villain status. He's really causing a lot of, waves and, picking on people a little bit and being a little bit more vocal, and it's my way or the highway type of thing. And so, I like people who play the game with a little bit of humility. He's not there right now for me. So am I enjoying his TV? Not particularly, but I know do a lot of people. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do.
Mhm.
I don't feel like he's crossed a line yet of being mean or anything, unless you remind me of something. But I think that was, it was poking fun at her, but it was in a funny way. That was funny.
I don't know. Angela, called her some names as well.
Well, that's Angela, but we're talking about Tucker. I liked to see Tucker's coming on as one of those like historical, I don't know if it's like not like Mike Boogie, but who the doctor was, Dr. Will, like those kind of, they had some big personalities. I don't know.
A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people like that. That's not my style of game or human being. I like a little humility. You like that.
Makes good TV.
It makes good TV for you. You kind of gravitate toward those players, a Janelle, a Dr. Will, a Mike Boogie. Yep. You gravitate toward those players. Tucker could easily be one of those players.
Big ego. Big ego. And, but backing it up with their, winning and stuff like that.
Right.
So when Tucker got off, then Kenny had to go up.
No, because what happens in the arena is one person gets to take themselves off the block, and the last two people left get to be evicted.
That's right. There was no replacement.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll get it eventually.
Well, this is still part of the game that I think the both of us are getting used to. I don't know if we overly love it. I don't think we hate it, but we got to get used to it. So that's where we're at on this one.
Hi, Fallon. Thanks for joining in. We're discussing Big Brother. It's our Big Brother series. So we had some criticisms because this is the part of their week where they do the arena.
Yeah.
Tucker comes off.
Right.
Then the two people left are supposed to like go running in, start grabbing people, like please, and like making promises, like I won't come after you, and pulling them in the rooms. And this is the second week in a row that they're not doing that. They're just hugging everybody. And you kept saying, this is bad TV. This is really bad TV.
So what I think the production of CBS was hoping for is what typically happens when they have a double eviction night. So on double eviction night, you only have that 1 hour to strategize, get ahead of household, do the power of veto. Who are you going to take off? Who are you going to replace? Who are you going to vote out? And they like that television because people run to rooms and have these private conversations and make these quick deals. So I think they were hoping that this AI arena would give some of that same urgency right away, and that players would try to run to a room and all they're doing is hugging each other. They know what's happening. One of the three people are coming off, and if it's this combination, this is who we're voting off. So no one's running to any room. No one's being frantic. And I think CBS and Julie are standing there like,
what are we doing?
What are you doing? Do something.
Well, they're like looking at the contestants like, what are you doing? But they're like, this is stupid. There's no point to this. And we thought the first week, we thought, okay, they'll catch on for the second week. But I think your point is right. It's useless. Like there's no point in it. They already know what they're doing.
If you're a good strategist in the game of Big Brother, you have looked at all potential scenarios and said, okay, in this scenario, this is who I'm voting for. In this scenario, this is who I'm voting for. And that's it. You don't need to run to a room and try to figure that out in 1 minute between commercial breaks.
Right.
It's not going to happen. You would be silly as a Big Brother contestant to leave that up to that moment in time.
Right. But if I was Angela, I'd be begging for my life.
But still, everything is done. What you set this section up with was, we have been bashing a little bit in our own private conversations as we've been watching the show, CBS production. I'm not concerned about the house guests. I think they're doing the right thing. I think production is trying to put on them something that the contestants don't need to really be doing, but they want that television and it's not materializing. And Julie keeps pushing it, and I think it's the wrong thing. So that's my soapbox on that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit more. What I had a thought on how they could like fix it
Yeah.
or make it better. I want to say hi to CL, and chemo is their favorite. Yeah, I can understand why. And we also talked about how we're not on the TV shows, we're not seeing all the players interacting all the time. And chemo's been one of them this past week. I don't think we saw him too much.
No, chemo's getting a little bit of airplay, but one of the things, again, that you and I have talked about personally, you know, while we're watching the show and a little bit afterwards, is this season hasn't built up the characters a lot so far. And I know I say this at the beginning of every season. It's like, you know, this one, you know, is, you know, I really don't know the players, so I don't know how much invested I am because I don't know the personalities. And chemo was one that came up that, you know, I think he has a really good story. I'd like to hear more about him and his life and things like that. And we got a little snippet, but not too much. Another one is Brooklyn.
Yep.
You know, she was touted as this huge personality and character, and it's been crickets, you know, as far as Brooklyn. And then I always get the short ones.
Rubina. She was nowhere to be seen this past week. I forget
that she's on the show, and it's not because of her height. It's because she has done nothing, in my eyes, to either warrant airtime or have received airtime.
Yep.
But there's a few people that I wish I could see a little bit more of. Again, we don't watch the feeds. Not that we're opposed to the feeds. We're not opposed to it. But
I think I might want to add it, but we'll talk about that later off air. But I think it might add to the experience.
We're not opposed to the feeds. We will watch the feeds. My statement was we don't watch the feeds up until this point.
Yeah.
But you know, I haven't seen a lot of personalities yet. And I think it is CBS's responsibility for the mainstream television show that they're putting on air to, you know, enhance these characters, you know, in some way. My personal opinion. Okay. 2 soapbox moments in, you know, I guess one episode that didn't seem overly thrilling. I mean, it was pretty much, we kind of knew Lisa was going to go.
Yeah, it's not very exciting. It seems like all the good drama stuff's happening not on live TV. But
and you know, Lisa got blindsided, but the only person that
she was the only well, I guess that's what a blindside is.
And it's funny because the audience wasn't even blindsided. Like CBS couldn't even twist it enough to make it think like, oh, Angela could be going home. You know, it was the majority of the talk in the house was Lisa going home. You know, they couldn't even pinch together enough conversations to make us think that Angela would be going home.
Yep. Okay, so then they go into the head of household challenge Sunday night.
So we're on Sundays. Okay, so Sundays, yes. Yeah, so you know how they always start with the previous person being evicted, you know, that's how they start the episode. And I thought this was funny. We laughed about it. We actually had to pause it for a little bit so Lisa leaves. Angela's semi-surprised, but I think she kind of knew. And after Lisa leaves, they start the episode. And the episode kind of begins with Angela giving this heartfelt thank you.
With the dramatic music.
Oh, beautiful dramatic music in the background. And everybody's like, we don't care. You're next. You know, we really don't want you here, but we got rid of somebody who's a little bit, you know, better game player. And it was crickets. And they literally, what's my favorite sound effect?
Yeah, he'll literally say crickets all the time, but they played cricket music. Oh my God, it was so fun. Whenever that happens, we laugh because that's like our inside joke. We'll say it was crickets.
But the dramatic music was like an Oscar acceptance speech or something, or you know, whatever. But it was funny.
Yes. So I'm gonna back up to when we were talking about the critiques a little bit of the show. So I was thinking about it today, getting ready for this live, and I just feel like they inserted this. So in the past, they had a household night, and then they would do the veto and eviction on the same night. They do head of household, a veto, and an eviction.
Yeah.
So now they're cramming two things into, they're doing AI and arena. So it is, I'm sorry, they're doing the arena and eviction on the same night.
Right.
So
within 5 minutes of each other.
And we are getting less TV time to see the guests.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like that. I'd rather see.
Well, you made a good point about the AI, right? I think we were kind of excited with the new AI twist, and we thought that
it could be interesting.
We thought that it could be interesting. And currently, the only insertion of AI that has been worth anything is this AI arena, which, isn't really a lot of twists and turns. It's just a competition. It's just an additional competition, just like the veto, just like the head of household.
Yeah.
I don't need more competitions. They're competing in two other things. I don't need a third competition.
I need more strategy. I want to see who's strategizing. Yes. That's what I want to see. I want to see the strategizing. I think
that's the hook of Big Brother, right?
Yeah. And so because they introduced Ainsley, this AI, they've used it once. Like this whole time. And I thought, well, okay, if you're going to have it, at least try to make it interesting. They gave out these two powers that, who's MJ? What's her? Mackenzie. She won't even use it because she keeps telling everybody she has it so that she doesn't have to use it. I don't know. And the same thing with Quinn, his power seems really cool. That could be a really fun episode to watch because he can control the head of household from behind the scenes, and he's already told one or two people.
I think everybody knows already now.
Yeah, so they're gonna know it's you and be super mad if you do it. So I don't know. That got ruined. Those two things got ruined. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But so we're just kind of going through the head of household, veto, arena, eviction. So on the TV end of it, it hasn't been too exciting.
Super exciting. Right?
So they had the competition. It was where they had to run across those ramps and be the fastest time, or the balance beams, I guess I would call them. Cedric won. And then he just has conversations with people on who to put up or whatever. But the funny part was he was running around the house. He knew the two people. He knew he wanted to put up Angela for sure. She's like the target. And then I forget who his second person was, but he needed a third pawn. He wanted a pawn, or maybe it was Kenny, because Kenny kind of went to him and said, hey, I don't mind going home because I miss my family.
Right.
But when he was running around looking for a pawn, everybody was like, nope.
Yeah.
Not me. Nope.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit. I think the Kenny and Cedric conversation was a little heartfelt. Kenny's been going back and forth because he misses his family. He's 52 years old. What am I doing on Big Brother? I thought this was what I really wanted, but I kind of miss my family in that time. And this is a 90-day
He still has little kids.
Yeah. And, he's missing a good portion of, the kids going back to school and the rest of the summer. And so I get where he's kind of coming from, but don't sign up for the show. I mean, there's people who would give arms and and legs to do this. So, don't do that, and then kind of give up. But he also confided in Cedric that they're both kind of military, police, or intelligence and things like that. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of neat. And in that conversation, he said, hey, I don't know if I'm 100% in this. If you want to put me up, no ill feelings. Plus, I've been on the block already. So that did make it easier for Cedric. Angela was an easy one for Cedric. And then, he went around looking for people to be the pond. And, one kind of fell in his lap, but not without, some lobbying and saying, hey, Mackenzie has this power. Let's flush it out. Let's get it out of the game.
Yeah, Tucker was on that. That's why I liked him, because he started really strategizing and I just thought he was being a little funny and really being smart strategically. So he kind of came out for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I like him.
Yeah. So ultimately, I think that's why. So Tucker said, you can put me up, but you should be putting up Mackenzie.
Flush out the power.
Flush out the power, and so after that conversation, I thought there was probably one of the funniest moments of Big Brother so far was the no-mance.
Oh my God, I laughed through that whole thing. So let me look at my notes because I wrote down how they explained it, and it was so funny.
I can get you started while you're looking. So I know it starts with what's her name? She was the head of household last week.
Chelsea.
Oh,
she
like Cam.
So they played all those funny clips of like her,
As you're finding it, I will get you started.
I got it right here.
You got it. Okay, go. You got it.
So Chelsea likes Cam, but Cam likes Leah.
Mm-hmm.
He's chasing her all over the place.
That's right.
Quinn also likes Leah.
And he's also chasing her all over the place.
Chasing her all over. So she's got these two guys all over her all the time.
Right.
But Leah likes Tucker. So when they explained all that, oh my gosh, I was laughing.
That's not even the funniest part.
Oh, go ahead.
The funniest part is, who Tucker? You know who Tucker likes? The fish.
They showed him staring at the fish in the fish tank.
So I thought that was a pretty funny, the way, what's her name again? Why do I keep forgetting her name?
Chelsea.
Kind of explained the whole, chain of who likes who. Ending with the fish was just hilarious. I thought that was a really good job of them doing something.
She said, we're not having showmances. We're having the season of no mances.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So
I was kind of hoping Chelsea and Cedric would kind of like each other, but it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. So, they've been talking about who to put up. I think it was pretty, Kenny, Angela, Tucker would be the pawn, but they still are in Cedric's ear about putting up Mackenzie, and I think they should be putting up Mackenzie. So what do you think?
I agree. I mean, what she's doing is working for her.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny because, Tucker, he's kind of confidently volunteering himself to be the pawn, and he kind of did the Vito and Arena.
Yeah, the two guns
coming at you. Like he's just gonna go in there and try to win. So
right.
I like his humor so far. He's the only one they've been showing. Quinn has a few little moments of being funny, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think they're focusing on the drama a little bit, and maybe rightfully so. I don't know, but there's got to be some other moments, and that's why I like the no man's. Maybe that's why I enjoyed that segment so much, was because it wasn't about, negativity. It was actually funny.
It was cute. Yeah, it was cute.
So they ultimately did the nominations, and the nominations came out as Angela, Kenny,
and Tucker.
Yep. So he didn't put up Mackenzie to flush out the veto. What is happening? So that's the culmination of the 2 episodes that we were in arrears here.
Yep.
What's supposed to happen tonight? What gets us going on tonight's episode?
It's just the veto competition. So I'm hoping we'll get to see all the drama that's been happening.
I hear there's a lot
up to this.
Yes.
Did you hear any names? I heard names.
You heard names?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I just heard that there was a falling out, and somebody was taken off that wasn't supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
That's what I heard.
Does anybody in the chat, have you been watching anything? If you're watching, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, I think I'm changing my mind about watching the live feeds, because it doesn't bother me to have spoilers. I don't care, because I can just watch. And it would be interesting to compare maybe a couple episodes. We've done a couple weeks without it. Maybe do a couple weeks with it and see. It'll be more to talk about for sure.
I guess to maybe let some of the listeners know who maybe this is their first episode of Big Brother with us.
Yeah.
The very first or second season that we watched Big Brother, we got the live feeds.
Yeah. And we've watched it from the beginning.
And we enjoyed it thoroughly.
We did.
The only problem was when the show came on, we didn't enjoy the show because we're like, that's not what they said. And that's not what that conversation was about. And those two are really mad at each other, but they're looking like they're best friends. And it kind of ruined the, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday experience. So we didn't do it thereafter. We're not opposed to it, but we didn't do it thereafter. So I'm not opposed to it. We just didn't have the Big Brother watch party experience when the show came on. That's all.
Yeah. I forget. It was so many years ago. I forget.
I'm here to remind you of what you remember, honey.
He is here to remind me of what I remember. That's funny. Okay. So I don't know. It's been pretty, Angela, she's going to go home unless she pulls a miracle out with the, they're the same. Without the pulls a miracle out with the veto or something like that.
You never know.
You never know. But.
You never know because there's a lot of hecticness going on. I don't even know if that's a word, but there's, I guess, a lot of stuff going on in the house, and I'd be curious to see what happens tonight, how it all plays out. Mm-hmm. And if we start watching the feeds, we can kind of do up to the minute updates and do more of these episodes if we want. So
yeah.
Yep. Happy to do so.
If you're watching on the replay, we're hoping we can get more people to join us on here live so we can really talk about
and have discussions.
Yeah. Talk about the players and the drama that's going on. So we'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow evening, probably 7:00 again. So we hope you join us back for that, and we'll see you then. Bye.